In today's video, I'm checking out configuring a Windows device in Microsoft Intune. We're going to look at configuring it and managing it from both the admin and the user perspective. So if you're ready to learn, let's buckle up. It's going to be a good one.
Learn with Andy Malone.
Today's video is sponsored by Ticket, the ultimate AI-powered service management solution for Microsoft Teams. Learn more at cyrusen.com. Hi everyone, Andy here. So nice to see you, and thanks very much for joining me. On today's episode, I had a couple of requests from folks. Andy, can you do a session on joining Windows devices to Microsoft Intune, but do it from both the end user side as well as the tech side? And I thought, hey, absolutely, I can do that for you. So that's exactly what we're going to do this week. We're going to look at joining Windows devices as well as configuring them and managing them, as well as deploying a little bit of software on them as well. Now, just a quick mention that if you haven't subscribed, we'd love you to come on board. So bump the button up there, ring the bell, and come and join my ever-growing learning community. And if you've got questions, of course, get those down below. It's always good to hear from you. Finally, I also run a Patreon channel as well. So if you'd like full Microsoft courses, monthly Zoom calls, and more, then click the link below and come and join that. So I think without any further ado, let's jump in and we'll have a look at configuring and managing Windows devices in Microsoft Intune. Okay, so I've created a user called Jean-Luc Picard, and what I'm going to do is I've got an empty workstation here. It's a Windows 11 machine, and I'm going to come into Accounts, scroll right down to the bottom, and access Work and School. I'm going to click on Connect, and then I am going to choose one of two options. So I've got, do you want to join Entra ID or do you want to join Active Directory? This is who is going to have authority over this machine. So I'm choosing, of course, I want to join Entra ID, and I'm going to just change this for Picard. So I've got a user here called Jean-Luc. I've gone ahead and licensed him with an E5 license as well as EM&S. Of course, if you've got an E3 with EM&S or Business Premium, the process is the same here. Just make sure that this is your correct organization, which it is. So I'm happy with that. I'm just going to click on Done. So now what we need to do, of course, you can see that it's joined the organization, and you don't need to do a quick restart here, but I always feel that it is a good idea. So to do that, I'm just going to very quickly just restart this machine. Once it's restarted, I simply log back in as Captain Picard, and this just takes a moment. And just to confirm that we have actually logged in, what you can do is you can go to a browser and you can type in office.com. Now, the theory is that because we're using single sign-on, it shouldn't prompt us to redo our username and password. So I'm going to just click on undo, just get rid of this stuff here. I'm going to go into office.com. And you'll notice that in here, one of the benefits of a Entra joined device is there is seamless single sign-on. So I'll just go office.com and you can see, boom, straight in with my current credentials. Okay. Now that's done, the next thing that we want to have a look at then is, okay, what's that like then from the kind of admin side? So I'm flipping over here into my server, and I'm just going to refresh here. So here I am in Microsoft Intune, and I'm just refreshing this page. Now, by the way, if you haven't seen my video on configuring Intune, I've done other videos on this, but you can see that today I'm just focusing on the client. So you can see that my client has come in. I've got a couple of clients here, WS1 and WS2. And if I click onto these and go into their properties, one of the benefits now is that I can click on manage this device. So the manage option will now give me a range of options here. Now, the range of options include things like I can retire this device, I can do a remote wipe, I can restart, And I can also do things like do an antivirus scan and kind of things like that. I would say that the remote task and the remote management, by the way, these are just being rolled out at the moment. This is the Intune add-on pack, the management premium pack, and you can get that at the moment. So now that we've got all of that in, the next thing we want to do is probably start configuring our device. So for this, I'm going to go into my Intune. And here in Intune, I'm going to choose my devices. Now, you can see that we have obviously a number of platforms that Intune supports. And you can see that I've got WS2. Now, you'll notice that WS2 is different because in the devices previously in Entra, I didn't have an Intune license. So that's the reason why Intune is not showing up here. So we can configure, we can set compliance, we can deploy scripts. So what I'm going to do is just very simply create a compliance policy. Sorry, a configuration policy. So with the configuration policy, there are a number of different templates that you can choose. So first of all, which platform are you using? Well, of course, I'm using Windows 11. And again, choose the settings type. I'm just going to select this from a range of different templates that we have here. And I'm going to choose the device restrictions template. And what this does is it restricts certain elements, for example, on the user's desktop. If you want to restrict elements in, let's say, things like the control panel and stuff like that. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to give this a name. So I'm just going to call this OSL01. You can put in a description if you want to. And you can see here we have all the kind of granular control panel settings in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through a few kind of random ones here, and I'm going to block certain things. So for example, power off settings, I'm going to block things like network. You might not want your users to change these things. Certain apps, maybe you can preset things like language and time and location settings as well. Now, of course, in addition, because this is kind of a corporate PC, you might not want things like gaming and so on installed in there. So now we click on next, and we now say, okay, who do we want to deploy this to? So I've actually created a group called IT devices. I'm just going to select that and click next. And you can also exclude certain machines within that group or certain groups if you want to as well. Are there any additional device restrictions that you want to put in? I'm just going to accept that. And again, I'm just going to click on create. So off it goes, and it creates our policy for us. Now, I've put some restrictions in there. The other thing that you can also do is, of course, you can do a compliance policy. So, for example, compliance means, having a certain version of Windows, a certain build of Windows, and so on. And just like before, you can select from a set of templates here. And you can see that you just choose the either the template name. Again, I've just got one here. I'm just going to go ahead and click on create. And you can see that there's a whole bunch of policies that you can use. First thing, of course, give it a name. So again, I'm just going to call it OSL number 2. Or comp for compliance. Again, you can put in a description. And again, you can see you've got things like device health, device properties, configuration properties, and so on. So, for example, you can enforce things like BitLocker. You can enforce secure boot on Windows 11. You can enforce things like data integrity. You can set the minimum, the maximum OS version and build numbers. very, very useful. And you can do like, for example, different policies for different builds, for example. Other things that we've got, things like system security, setting minimum passwords, requiring biometrics and so on, Windows Hello for Business, all of that really, really kind of important kind of settings here. Now, in addition to that, once you've set those things up, you've got things like device security. Do you want to configure things like the firewall, the TPM, the trusted platform module, which protects all your secrets and your certificates, of course. So, there are elements in control panel and things that you might want to monitor that are really kind of important. Okay, so as before, you just basically add the group that you want to include, and that's it, done. Now, next thing you might want to set up, of course, are apps. And as I said, you've got access to the different app stores for the different platforms here. The main one that we're going to be working with is the Windows App Store. There are two versions. It's the new App Store. So just go ahead and click in here, and I'm going to go ahead and click next. And once the the App Store is configured, we then say, okay, which app do we want to add? So you just simply search for the app, and there are thousands of apps in here. So I, for example, might use Zoom. And again, you can see there are a number of different versions of Zoom. There's the Universal Windows app, which means that'll run on every platform. So I'll just go ahead and configure that. You can see the details comes in. You can change the icon. You can change that you might want to put a little note in here. You want to set an owner for the app as well. So if you've got an owner, you might want to do that. Although, annoyingly enough, you can't do a browse for the owner here, which is, I found that a bit annoying. You'd think they would have a browse button. So once the app has come in, the next thing, of course, is assigning the app. So again, who do we want to assign it to? Depending on the app, you can assign it to a specific group of users, specific group of devices, or all users, actually. So in this case, I'm just going to deploy it to my devices, my IT devices. I'm going to click on Create there. So obviously, other things that you can do, by the way, you can have, different groups of users with different settings, different versions of apps as well. You can also go back in and edit the assignment, as you can see. So you can send things like notifications to users to let them know that there's a new app in, which I really like. That's so cool. I'm going to go ahead, click on Create, and that app is now published. Now, once the app is actually deployed to the client, i.e. the user's actually using the app, you'll see that will go green, and I'll come back to that in a moment. So the next thing then is we want to kind of just refresh or push all of those settings actually to the client machine. So to do that, you can do that in one of two ways. The client can do it through their account settings, or an admin can come into the actual workstation like here. And if you're familiar with kind of GP update /force from traditional kind of Active Directory, this is doing a very similar thing. So you can select the device, click on sync, and this will basically then push all of those settings out to that device. Now, once of course that's been done, we can then go in and log in as the user, our Jean-Luc Picard, and let's see what that looks like. And you can see I've forced a restart for the user. So what that means is now when I flip over to Jean-Luc's machine, you can see it says you're going to need to be signed out, and that machine will now reboot. And of course it will come in and Jean-Luc will need to log in again. So now this machine has been updated, of course, and let's just see what happens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the apps. So let's look at the apps itself. Now you'll notice that some of the settings have been disabled. And if I go into, let's say, the control panel or the settings and control panel, You'll notice there's no kind of gaming icons here, and likewise there's no gaming option in the menu here. So those settings have successfully been enforced, which is great. So if you don't want your users playing around with certain settings, because, let's face it, people can make mistakes, and it just means it's a bit of a headache for support. Likewise, if I go back in to the app now, you can see that the apps have refreshed and Zoom Workplace is actually in there and it's ready for use. So there you have it. I'm just going to come back into Intune. I'm going to refresh my page. And sure enough, if I come into apps and then click into my Windows app here, you'll notice that Zoom has successfully come in. So really, really easy to configure. We've talked about devices, and I gave an example of a Windows device. The other platforms, again, very, very similar. In Windows, we talked about configuring the device. So if you're familiar with Active Directory group policy, we spoke about the kind of very, very similarities between that and this. Again, you've got things like compliance policies. You can deploy scripts, of course, and you can also import policies, which I've done actually in a previous video. So if you've not seen that, I'll put the links below there. So there you have it. Deploying and managing and configuring a Windows client from both the user and the IT guy's perspective. So there you have it. If you're planning to do certification, it's the MD 102 course, and that is joining Windows 11 devices and managing them in Microsoft Intune. Hey, listen, I really hope that you found that useful. If you did, hit the like button. We always do appreciate those thumbs ups. Okay, that's it for this time. Really appreciate you joining me. I'll see you soon. Take care.